Oh,
Welcome to the Layman Seminary. We have another Filipina edition. Janet's simulcast didn't work today, but that's okay. We're going to be looking at Bible art categories and as well as outlining scripture. So let me share my screen. Do y'all want to say hi before we begin?
Yeah, hi, this is Janet. Please be with us and learn as what we are doing to in James 4 and be blessed so that one day you can share that to others. Thank you so much for watching and learning.
Okay. Jonah?
yeah. Hi, I'm Jonah, and we welcome you all to watch this channel. And I hope you will be blessed and continue be with us until we finish our Bible study. Thank you so much for watching in advance.
All right. So here we go. We're going to share the screen. Present to everyone. Okay. So let's back up and let's look at what we saw last time. Had this big mess last time we went through this. Basically, what we did is we had the black was the NASB, the green was the ESV, the red were observations we made before we ever looked at the other categories. And these other categories that are right here, these were the Bible art categories. Okay. So now what I've done this time is I have turned it into an outline. This outline is, I wouldn't recommend that you use this outline, but it is an outline you can make. Okay. So
Mhm.
you can see all I did was I divided everything up according, I kept the phrasing the same. And then the observation things, oops, I gotta go back. Um, I just made them subpoints. So y'all see that?
Mhm.
I don't. All right. So, and the labels and all of that. But that we're gonna look at this one right here. Okay. In this one, you see how it says 4, 1 through 3 right here? Sentence.
Mhm.
Mhm.
This is saying this is a Greek sentence. Okay. This is because 4, 1 through 10 is one paragraph in the Greek. And so this is a Greek sentence. So even though we break the verses break down into 3 verses, it's one sentence.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
So the verse 1 in the Greek, it's a semicolon. All right. So here's our first verse that we see. What is the source of quarrels and conflicts among you? I called it a clause because, well, I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes, but I just called it a clause. You understand what a clause is, Janet?
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, a word, two or more words that has VSOP, VSOP, sorry,
That has
SVO.
what? SVO. Yes, yes. I was fixing to write that. So
It's
what
SVO.
Janet said is it has SVO. Subject,
verb and object.
Verb and
verb,
object.
object. Okay? Actually, Janet, it doesn't have to have an object.
Oh, okay.
When it doesn't have an object, we call that intransitive. That's a fancy name. Uh, let me spell it right. Intransitile. Intransitive. Okay? And when it
Transitive.
does have an object, we call it transitive. Um, so
So that close.
yeah, well, okay, when you're talking about clauses, all right, yes, that's a clause if it has a subject and a verb. But this is an independent clause. This is an independent clause. Okay? independent clause stands by itself. It's independent. All right. It's like a lot of Filipinas. They're independent. All right. But then you got dependent. Right? A lot of Filipinos are dependent on their salary. So dependent clause. Right? But I just call it a clause. And actually, as what you'll see, there's more than one in there. There's what is the source of quarrels and conflicts among you. So we're not getting into detail about verbs and all of that stuff. But I just want to show you a simple outline that you can do. Because you got, look at it like this. This 4, 1 through 3, that's one subpoint. Okay. Oops. And then 4 through 4, that's another one. Okay. 5 through 6, that's another one. 4 through 7, 8a, that's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. And then here's another one. Okay, so if we would have done the first outline we looked at, this one here, you would have ended for this paragraph, you would end up with 30 points. All right, that's too many. If that was it. So 30 points, that's way too many. This way, at least we have eight main. That's still too many. If you were to teach it or make a sermon or something, that would be too many points. But we're in the process of trying to understand the passage, so it's okay for right now. All right. Basically, what we got going on here is we have these clauses. And so for this, you have a question, right? And then you have the location. So we already know all that. No different. But what you see here is that you now can see your subpoints so much better. There's a subpoint. There's a subpoint. You know, and so on. Idea for the structure. So it's sort of like phrasing. All right. But what we're going is we're going to be working on this. We're going to try to find all the coordinate relationships, okay? So when we see series, progression, and alternative, we're going to work for right now. We're not going to move things around, but we're going to rewrite it as saying coordinate by series, coordinate by progression, coordinate by alternative, okay? That way we get in our mind not only that something is a series, but that it's indicating a coordinate relationship. Okay? Same level. So what we're going to look for are series. All right? Well, the easy way to do this, here, I can erase some of these now. I don't need this one. We don't need that anymore. Ooh. Okay. And all this, we really don't need this anymore.
Your voice is keep on cutting off.
Oh no. Okay. So here's our sheet to mess up today. Series, progression, alternative. If you're on a computer, which we are, we're just going to type in the word series and watch what happens. All right, here's a series. Okay, what does series show? Do you remember?
It's independent. It has
Well,
independent
what was the
motion.
word that the Bible art people use? Coordinate.
Coordinate,
Okay.
yeah. It's
All right. Coordinate. And we're going to add a word right here. By series. Okay.
oh, okay.
We're going to make it red just to see that we've already done that one. So let's go to the next series. And then we're just going to copycat.
Mm.
All right. Now this one you can have the option of ground, so we'll just make that a third point. Okay, coordinate by series. Here this one has alternatives, so we'll put that there. I think that's an option as well. Back that up. Okay, good. That's it. Now let's do progression. Oh, no progressions. So let's do alternative. Alternative. So this is coordinate too, but this is coordinate by alternative. So coordinate by alternative. I'll copy this one. Let me go to the next one. Here we go. Oops. There's another one. There's another one. Janet, you're quiet.
Yeah, I'm looking at what you're doing.
Okay. All right. So we're just going to leave those alone for right now. Coordinate relationships. Now we're going to do support by distinct statement. Okay. So we're going to look for ground first. All right. So we're going to say support by distinct statement, and we'll just say by ground. I know that kind of looks crazy, but I just wanted us to keep it in our head that when you see a ground, it's a distinct statement. Okay. As you learn these, then you won't have to do this anymore. Here's another ground. Here's another ground. Okay. Here's another ground. Ground. Hey, go back. All right. Okay, so let's do inference. No inferences. Bilateral, I don't think you're singing. No bilateral. Okay. Oh no, go back. So we're doing action result. So let's just type in result. All right. No, that don't count. That's all from the same thing. So no action result. Purpose. Okay, here's the word purpose right here. I guess I'm trying to think how I want to do this. Support by distinct statement. Copy by purpose. Make it red. Copy that. There's another purpose. Okay, so that's all of them. Now we're going to do condition. No conditions. Okay, let's do temporal.
How many
How many what?
structural
Structural what?
like what you said, temporal or series? How many are that? 18 only? That's the
Yeah, we're using their 18 right now. We're not using the other ones that I like. We're using these right now because we need to learn these. So let's see
so
if there's any
again,
more.
will you why we need to do that to undergo the structural.
Because you remember when I did the what, the why, and the wow?
Hmm.
That's what we're going to do. And this gives you more information because it helps you understand how the clause is working. I know this is tedious, but just be patient with me. We'll get this done. Oh no. I keep doing that.
Locative.
Because what I did was I taught y'all locative and all of that. And now I'm teaching you how those things show the connection to what type of clause it is or how that is functioning.
Rafi messaged me. Maybe uh, he is also wondering why I cannot post on. I cannot do live on Facebook.
Yeah, he probably is. Just tell him to come watch over here.
What
Lots of locatives.
can I ask a question? What should I need to do on Facebook so that I can live both?
I don't know, Janet. We
The,
will
O-
have to.
the
We will
OB.
have. What? Okay, so that's that. All right, so that's all the locatives. So let's do manner. Because now look, so they're saying that that ground, inference, bilateral, result, purpose, condition, temporal, locative all give a distinct statement. But they're saying that these show restatement. Okay. So now we'll be doing restatement.
When we say restatement,
Restatement just means it's repeating.
oh, okay. Thank you.
I'm doing this fast so we can fix the colors later. Okay, this one's manner.
Is manner is a part of logical relationship?
Well, these are all the Bible arc things. They pretty much are. Yeah, they're all 18 of them. So
So manner is one of them.
yes,
Which statement is for the manner?
action manner.
Action manner.
Yes. All right. Comparison. And ain't no one's gonna listen to this channel if y'all don't talk. Y'all are the ones that make the channel interesting. There's no comparison.
Just listening.
Yeah. Well, she's sad.
Mm,
She's sad because her channel's not live right now. Negative, positive. So
and I need to listen more about this because I'm not with you guys yesterday.
support by restatement. That looks ugly, but oh well. We'll fix it later. Bang.
Oneness is active. UCPI is active on my Facebook. That's why it's always disturbed. Even I close my Facebook, the notification will come in still.
Oh, something happened.
Because I open my computer, so that's why.
Where'd it go? Support.
So what are you doing right now?
I am going through the negatives now, doing the negative support by distinct statement. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Distinct
So
or
we are
restatement.
still on verse what?
We're doing 1 through 10.
No. So again, why we need to do this?
Because it helps you start seeing larger and larger connections.
Connection of what? Passage? Understanding?
Yes. And it isn't that you have to do it. It's that we experiment with different methods. Okay, question.
So if you it's really not to be master like this thing, right? But when you do this, you can yeah, as what you have said, you can be more seeing things widely, or when
Yeah.
it,
Well, this is a free resource. A lot of people can't afford Bible software, but Bible arcing and you can use that website. I mean,
mm,
it's free. So there is a benefit to learning this system. But like I said, I teach everybody the other stuff and then I go to this. So support by contrary statement is what the next ones are. Concessive and situation response. I'm not sure if we have any. Yeah, we do. All right.
becomes bigger and bigger, or more and more.
Yeah. It'll become clearer in a minute.
Okay, so the people who's listening this time, be patient, have patience to watch for this time, and later on we can the Bible teacher can conclude what he's doing, because me and Sis Jonah just also listening to him for this time, um,
Yes.
learning things, new things, how to
All right.
how to understand the Bible, the passages.
Okay.
I think his finished now.
So, all right. So, this is what you got to think about, all right? If we're understanding the system right, is that coordinate uh relationships. We'll just say that. Coordinate relationships are where they're on the same level. Okay?
Mm.
Same level. So that means that you would have 1, 2. Right? That would be like a and but subordinate, as you know, are the word they're using is support. So
Support.
yeah. Subordinate is another word for dependent or clause, but they're using the word support. So we'll just use support. A support is going to do this. It's sometimes it's going to be connected to the coordinate, and then it'll look more like this right here. You'll have 1 there, and then you'll have 2 here. 1, 2. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So if you were phrasing it, you would move it over. Okay. So let's look at this. Here's our verse. What is the source of quarrels that conflicts come among you? Right? Well, this is a question. Right?
Mm.
So this is saying that it's given support by a distinct statement. Okay? So if you just wanted to mess around with this, you could do something like this. You could say verse 1, James begins with a unique I could have said distinct statement, right? But I'm just going to use the word unique statement. That is a question. The question
Why do you have to
concerns,
put the unique?
huh?
Why do you have to put the unique?
You don't have
You
to.
cannot just see.
I'm
You
just
cannot
giving
just put
another word.
James. Ah, okay.
I'm just giving a different word than distinct. You could use
Oh,
the word
okay.
distinct. If you want me to be a little bit more like that,
I think unique is better, not this thing.
all right. The question concerns the source, or remember what we learned from the ESV? Source or cause of conflict within the Jewish Christian fellowship, right?
So
Because
you are doing restating the verse, the clause, the in the
yes, well,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
a distinct statement, but yes, I'm doing the summary. I'm doing the descriptive summary thing that I've taught in other videos. Okay, so you're doing that. The question concerned the source or cause of conflict within the Jewish Christian fellowship. The reason I put within the Christian fellowship is because if our observation on this issue was right last time in another translation, it was focusing on the whole group rather than the individuals. But if we wanted to just remember that it may not be referring to the fellowship, but it actually may refer to each individual sin nature, because we're still in the observational step. We could include this, and or within their, no, it only makes sense like this. Let's leave that.
I
Okay.
think it's better. Yeah, it's okay now.
All right. So now we look here. What is the source of quarrels or conflicts among you? So we got the support by distinct statement. We got the mention of the question, right? But he also, look, they're saying the locative, the location is also given a distinct statement. The source or cause of conflict within the, we're just going to use the word again, unique sphere. That's another word for locative in a metaphorical sense of Jewish Christian fellowship. All right. So that's 1A. So we go to the next one. Okay. And let's do verse 1B. So is not the source your pleasures that wage war in your members? Okay. James answers answers his question within another question. It's like he's explaining that it wages wars. He's like, where do they come from, right? And in this one, he's saying it wages in your own members. James answers his question within another question. So even though he's answering this question, he's asking another question at the same time. James answers his question within another question. All right. So now look at the difference. This one says restatement. All right. So we can bring that in. James answers his question within another question. In other words, he is restating what he mentioned in verse 1a, and he is adding to it with the answer that okay, is not the source your pleasure that wages war on your members? Support by statement by negative. I don't think this is an example of actual negative positive. Okay, so we're just going to get rid of that one. Support by distinct statement of purpose. So he's talking about is the the source of your pleasures, that may be related to purpose, that wage war in your members. Tension of war in the members, but a result. But I don't really think either one of those is very strong. So let's get rid of that one. See what's happening? When you do this, you're limiting down the possibilities. Okay. Now this one, context, this is related to the word in. And I have not been able to find a definition for what they're calling context. So we can eliminate that one. It's not temporal. So we got the idea of manner associated here. Is not the source your pleasures that wage war in your members? Well, waging war does have the concept of waging war. So we could say right here, and with it, the answer that the that the source or cause is like the manner of waging war internally. within the fellowship, or perhaps within each Christian. All right. So we have one A and we have one B.
Mm.
Okay. Then we go to the next one, which is basically 2A. Verse 2A. You lust and do not have. All right. So right here, it says support by restatement by mention a negative, because it says you lust and do not have. So we mentioned two things. So you would say James mentions two things that occur. They lust or desire, yet they lack. Okay. And then so they're saying that's restatement, but I don't think that works there. So I would get rid of that one.
So it's a question. I didn't learn. Okay.
You lust and do not have. And then here's the next one. So you commit murder. And so you got to make a decision. Is this coordinate? In other words, is this so on the same level as this? Or is it more like given the support by distinct statement? Is it saying you lust and you do not have because of the reason is you commit murder? That sounds more like the idea. So then you would go into verse 2 and you would say they desire yet they lack. Then you would say you could go into talking. I'll do this verbally because it's taking too long, but I'm just showing you could type things out like this, and you could. It almost sounds like a commentary, and of course it's going to be loose and broken, but it's a way for you to get through the process. But I'll just do it verbally so you get the idea. Okay. All right.
Yep.
So you lust and do not have. So you commit murder. So what this is saying is that if we make the decision this is not a series, then there's a distinct statement being said here, right? I mean, he already said they have desire pleasures right here. So the word lust, I mean, they already have desire and pleasures. It's pretty common, similar words. And he says they do not have. And like, man, that's really bad whenever you have a desire for something. And even though you have this pleasure waging war, you still are not able to satisfy that pleasure. And so what do? They commit murder. So this is a distinct statement. Nowhere in this passage did it talk about murder. It talked about quarrels and conflicts, right? Which can imply physical harm. It talked about war, which can just, okay, that's getting it now. I mean, that's a bigger idea. That's pretty bad. War's pretty bad. But then you get here and you see the word murder. And whether it's literal or figurative, that's not the point. The point is that he chose this word. So he's saying that there's a process involved here. And so you lust and do not have, so you commit murder. So the ground is sort of like the reason, right? So but this I actually disagree right here. I would call this result. You lust and do not have, so you know what the next thing you do? It results in you committing murder. In other words, because you have a desire, but you're not satisfied. You're not happy with everything that you've already received. And when I say you, I'm referring to the Jewish Christians in the audience, not us. We're not an application. Whenever I'll use the word they, whenever they don't get the dissatisfied, they go to commit murder because there's a connection here, supposedly. When people will kill other people for their clothing, for their car, you know, and nowadays, well,
Yeah.
I mean, people would kill back then, you know, for different reasons. You know, the Abram was worried about Sarah getting killed, so they made that lie up with the Egyptians and stuff. So people will commit murder to get what they want. Okay. And if this is just figurative, what this is saying is that people will kill your character, kill your reputation, which means they slander, they gossip to get what they want, which reminds us of the previous chapter that talked about the teachers receiving a stricter judgment and about the tongue. Okay. So this seems to be a distinct statement in that way. Then you have the negative. You are envious and cannot obtain. So you keep having this. You are, or you lust. You are envious. That's in parallel. And do not have and cannot obtain. That's kind of like in parallel. So it doesn't seem to be. It doesn't seem to be a unique statement. But look at the second part. So you fight and quarrel. Wait a minute. You've already told me that. Quarrels and conflicts, fight and quarrel. All right. So it's not really saying anything we don't already know. So this so is still focusing on result. I don't think it's focusing on ground. You do not have. Now watch this one though. You do not have. This is an independent clause. You is the subject. And do not have is your verb. So that stands by itself. But then you have because, which is dependent, you do not ask. So if you look right here, actually this can be a full sentence, but I'm thinking in terms of Greek. The becauses, the henas are usually, I mean, not the henas, hotties are usually subordinate. But look right here. Support by distinct statement. This is something new. He's told us that there's conflicts, they wage war, they even commit murder. All right. But look what
So
this
what
is.
is the ground?
The way they use ground, Janet, is this: a statement and the argument or reason for the statement, supporting
Yes.
proposition for, because, or since. So ground is almost like reason. So to me, the label of so, I know it showed up in the conjunctions they had, but to me, the ladies in these right here, it's not fitting ground. You understand? It doesn't make sense for it to be ground in a lot of these. Now this is better though. You do not have. Okay. Why do you say I do not have? What?
What is the cause? Why the phrase is saying, the statement is saying that? What's the last?
Hello?
What they are trying to fighting for?
All right. Well, because they got their own desires. They're selfish. It's related to the sin nature. Okay. But look right here. Watch this next part. You do not have because you do not ask. See how this gives a distinct statement? See how this is grounded in what's said before? In other words, it's given the reason. The reason they don't have is because they do not ask. Well, ask who? Notice it don't say ask God. But in the context, we're going to see that it's talking about God. And remember in James chapter 1, it said, if anyone lacks wisdom, let him ask God. For God gives liberally and beyond approach. But he who
So
asks must what?
is that mean that they are fighting because they are lack of wisdom?
Because of the
Well, that's part of it. They're not depending on God. Okay? So they're having fights among themselves. They're not focusing on God, and they're thinking, hey, if I kill the person, let's assume that this is literal for a moment. If I kill this person, I will get what they have. Maybe this one got mad because the other one, like the wife the other one had, and so he killed it. I don't know if it's literal, but or maybe it was a power issue. They wanted to keep their power. But this is the
So I
point.
think that's
You think what?
power. They are quarreling because others have power.
Okay.
Power of words, wisdom.
But this is the thing they understand. You are envious and cannot obtain. So no matter what they do, they are not satisfied. And you know why they're not satisfied? According to
Because
this,
they are not asking God.
they are not asking God. Instead of asking something for themselves, they're trying to steal it from somebody else, even to the point of murder or slander or gossip. Okay? So we keep going. Now watch what it says here. You ask and do not receive. So wait a minute. You told me that my problem is I don't ask. Or
Yeah.
don't ask. But when you ask, you still don't get your answer to your prayer. Why? Well, look at this next statement. It's a distinct statement because it's telling us something more. Because you ask with wrong motives. So one way we could do this, I'll do this real quick so we can see this. Let me open up NASB. Come on. Slowpoke. All right, there it goes. All right. Watch this. Get an idea of the logic. Okay. Are y'all there?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Where is the source of quarrels and conflicts among you? Is not the source. This needs to move too. All right. Is not the source your pleasures that wage against? See, this one is explained there. Now watch this next part. You lust and do not have, and then you got the next part. So you commit murder. Why does it do that? I do not like using the NASB from Logos because it keeps doing this. I know how to fix it though. Home here, clear formatting. Oh my goodness, that's even worse. Okay, I'll get it. Be patient. All right. So James chapter 4. Bible Gateway.
NIV.
Well, yeah, we'll do NASB since that's what we're using. It really doesn't matter. Yeah, we'll just keep this. Nothing wrong with having something else.
Is ESV and IV is almost the same or no?
No, they got a different style. Okay. So what causes fights and quarrels among you? Do they come from the desires of battle within you? You desire, but you do not have, so you kill. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You covet, but you can't get what you want. And fight. Yeah. You do not have because you do not ask. And when you ask, you do not receive because you ask with the wrong motives. That you may spend what you get on your own pleasures. And then you adulterous people. So you see what's going on here?
Yeah,
Each
you're making.
yeah, it's sort of like phrasing, but I'm just trying to show you how he's adding to the thought every time you go. And that's what they mean by distinct statement. Okay? He's adding to the thought. You understand that?
Mhm.
Okay. So you ask and do not receive because you ask with wrong motives. And then here's the reason. This is why they ask with wrong motives, so that you may spend it on your own pleasures. Well, pleasures was mentioned up here. Is not the source your pleasures that weighs you against the members? So what's happened is they're in a cycle. They're going around and around in circles. Their desires, their pleasure makes them want to do things the wrong way. And then when they do things the wrong way, they're having wrong motives, and because of this, they want more stuff so that they can spend it on their pleasures. But their pleasures are never pleasured. They're never satisfied. They're never content. They're never fulfilled. They're never happy. They don't have enough money. They don't have enough power. They don't have enough women, whatever it may be. Okay? So, but right here, support by restatement of manner. So it's describing on their wrong motives, so their manner, focusing there, so that you may spend it on your pleasures. Okay, so now you got an option here. The series, so distinct ground, and then the locative, the location
Never mind
itself.
the time. Thanks.
Okay. Well, how long have we been doing it?
I don't know.
Let me go check because we started late. Let's go look here. I don't have a way to know.
Mine
So
out. Mine.
yeah, okay. All right. So let me just say this. Next time we're going to start with a new paragraph of chapter 4, and we're going to try to we're going to look at these big picture things. All right? But
Okay.
what I just want you to get in your head is Bible Arc wants you to do this, is they want you to identify these different things and then think of it like this. Is this a coordinate relationship or is this a distinct relationship? Is it restatement? Is it something contrary? And so when you come to a passage, you know, you're thinking to yourself, all right, is this something new, a new thought? Or is it just repeating? Or is it a contrast? And so, like I said, the system Bible arcing is related to two different clauses. You're trying to think about the relationship between the two clauses, not within. And that's the problem that we're running into, is we're using for what's inside, right? We're using it for the stuff that's inside, but it actually works for the stuff that's in between them. And the same ones for let's see, phrasing. Look at this. These are phrases. Even though it's from the Bible Arc people, these are phrases. So they got ground, result, purpose, advantage, disadvantage, condition, temporal, locative, source, destination, separation. So the same idea. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using those categories from Bible Arc, not for arcing, but for phrasing. Okay? Because you all have exposure to that. So that's what we're going to be working on next time. You have any questions or thoughts?
As of now, no. Um, yeah,
Okay.
I need to.
I'm just saying, if you're not doing arcing, then pretty much this sheet right here, where'd it go? Give me a second. It's a cheat sheet. Where is it? This
Can we go
one?
straight?
What?
Can we go straight doing this? Not because we did it before we paraphrase, right? And if we want to do this, do we have to do the same, the one we did before, or can we just go straight to this? I mean, we can use this.
You can go straight. That's what I'm saying. It's a Bible study methods. You can mix and do different things. Okay. But see right here, this is for Bible arcing, these categories and stuff like that. And the problem with that is that arcing deals with the relationship between clauses and that two that are going on, whereas phrasing, uh, it it's a lot easier to do. Honestly, it is. And but you're using the same categories. But see, look, they got some other ones, substitution and things like that. So we're going. I was using the Bible art categories because, as I explained, Josh wants to use them, and hopefully in these videos, I've showed people the problem with the categories, not because the system is bad, but because it's so different from phrasing. It's so different from, even though it uses the same terms as other things, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work together. And it's something I struggle with. And I figure if I struggle with it, other people will too. Now, there's other people out there that are really good at it, but I'm not, you know. And so what I have to do when I find I'm not good at something, I got two options. One, I can do it a different way and work around it, trick myself into thinking I'm doing it, or not thinking I'm doing it, but trick myself into doing it. Or the other option I can do is I can make up my own way, or force myself to learn it. And so we focused on over a week and a half on a lot of these. Okay.
Yeah.
So we can try to get some of it in our brain. But I actually think phrasing is easier. And I think that the stuff we've looked at, some of these definitions, it will work. But I just don't think that well, anyway, that's it. Let's close for now. And what I want y'all to think about is look at this sheet right here. It's free. I'll show you how to get it. Look at this sheet instead of that other sheet, because this is a lot easier to do. Okay.
Mm.
Mhm. Okay. Thank y'all. I know this was a little bit tedious today, but sometimes you got to get in the mud to find out what works and what doesn't work for you, and that's what we're experimenting with. Hopefully, somebody in the future will see this video and they'll let us know what we're doing wrong, what we're doing right, and they can give us tips, because that's what we want. We want more videos out there on Bible study methods that are going to clarify things. I'm going to do the best I can to figure out a way to clarify certain things, but we're all in this together. So please keep this ministry in prayer. Most of all, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell if you want notifications. And thank you very much. Jonah, will you pray us out?
Okay. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you once again, Lord God, that we have finished, Lord God, our Bible study, and help us more, Lord God, to improve our Bible study, to do more. Um, Thank you so much also for those viewers who view this live on YouTube. I'll continue to guide them, bless them, and I do pray that they will come and visit again this channel, Layman Seminary, and to study with us. Thank you so much, Father God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Okay.